Couple of years ago, I had a 5-year-old student who thought this mug was the funniest thing she'd ever seen. I had it at a lesson one day. And for the next year and a half, at every single lesson, if I didn't have this mug, she would say, "Hey, remember that mug that you had that said, 'Don't talk to me until you've had your coffee'? That's a funny mug." Every single week. So there, I tried to make a point of remembering to use that mug when I knew she was coming for her lesson, because she got a kick out of it every time. It never got old. As it is with 5-year-olds, you know, they don't tend to get tired of much. So it is podcast day. It is Flosstube day. It's Monday again, and thank you for joining me. I had a pretty great weekend. I hope you did as well. I got a lot of really wonderful feedback from the second Stitch With Me video that I put out on Friday. And, you know, it was so much fun to have the comments rolling in throughout the weekend of where people were stitching, where they lived, what they're stitching. And I even had one or two people on there comment on other people's comments. "Hey, I live there too," or "I live close by," or, you know, something like that. And I just, that kind of made my weekend. So thank you so much for joining me and, you know, listening to me carry on. Overwhelmingly positive response to not having the, sorry, you can't keep putting your paw on me. No, we're done. Daria, the retriever, Eddie's fast asleep in his crate. She has her toy in her mouth and she keeps trying to drop it on my lap, and it's gross. It's disgusting. One of those, you know, well chewed and loved toys. And she keeps putting her paw on my leg so that I'll pay attention to her. Anyways, sorry about that. So yes, overwhelming majority of people preferred the no music version of the Stitch With Me video, and that is great. That's fine. Makes my life easier. It means I don't have to, you know, work to find appropriate music that's different every time. And I, you know, I can totally see your point. A lot of people who had that comment said they found it a little easier to concentrate, or to not have to sort of filter through the music to hear what I was saying, or, you know, they just preferred it. And when the majority of people prefer something, well, I can go along for the ride. I'm a joiner, so that's good with me. The only video, Stitch With Me video, that will have music is the very first one. So from now on, no music, just chit chat all the time. And if you haven't noticed, I can talk for a long time, so I have lots to say. I have a couple of little shout outs today that I wanted to sort of mention at the beginning. I would like to say hello to a lady named Madge, who lives down in the States and is the mother of a lady who I have met through Instagram, Liz. And on Friday I mentioned Sharon, a friend from Instagram as well, Sharon Goforth, who has recently gone down the rabbit hole of blackwork and also is an amazing English paper piecer. So I'm going to put her link again right here on the screen so that you can go and check out her Instagram feed. Sharon and Liz are friends, and if I'm not mistaken, they actually work together. And so that's how Liz found out about me, because Sharon had bought a bag and Liz liked the bag. So Liz ordered a bag and then we started chatting. And Liz suggested that her mom, who has been a lifelong crafter, just like us, may enjoy watching my Flosstube video. And apparently Madge really quite liked it. So hi Madge, I hope you're enjoying watching me prattle on, and maybe this will help remind you of knitting groups in the past, or stitching, crafting groups in the past, where you got to hang out with your friends. And I think it's pretty cool that you enjoy watching these now. So thanks Liz, and thank you Liz for sharing that with me. Always appreciated. I love getting emails and messages and texts and all kinds of fun things from crafters around the world. It's such an amazing community, and without the internet, this would be, there's a lot of bad stuff on the internet, but I like to think that we have our own little corner of it that's pretty sweet. So thank you very much. Speaking of the internet and Instagram and all of that good stuff, I mentioned during Friday's video that I had turned a couple of knitters into stitchers, or at least reminded one of them that she used to stitch and now is stitching again. That would be my friend Dawn, who lives in Sarnia, and my friend Alyssa, who is Mrs. Comet Hunter on Instagram. Dawn is one of the duo of the Codependent Knitters podcast on YouTube, which is also just a lovely way to spend your time. If you're looking for a couple hours of chit-chat and distraction and yummy yarn and really good friendship, I'd check out their podcast. And Alyssa's, same thing, Knit One, Breathe Two. Great shows and really, really good friends. I received an Instagram notification this morning, and it was a picture of a cross-stitch kit from someone I would never have expected to see a cross-stitch kit from. So it would appear that it would seem that, everybody seems to think that I'm this big enabler, and, I seem to be getting quite a reputation for for enabling people to either try new crafts, try new things, or buy a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, okay. I'll cop to it. Fair enough. I enjoy it, and I want you to enjoy it too. So I'm sorry I make you spend your money. I'm sorry that I make you spend your time doing all of these lovely, amazing things that are so wonderful. I'm not sorry at all. So take that. Call me the enabler. That's fine. I should change the name of the podcast. So whatever. I do find it kind of funny. But so I apparently have turned another knitter into a stitcher. And I couldn't be more thrilled. We're taking over the world, stitchers. One person at a time will turn them into cross stitchers. So my friend Verena, who lives in Germany, who we met originally because of the Fiber Friends podcast, she started watching us back in, when did we start? March? April? I don't even remember I think it was March when we put out our first episode. And Verena, knit at Knit Live Love. Verena has always been a huge supporter of ours and also of mine. Personally, she's a great friend. She has watched this podcast from the very beginning, even though she had zero interest in cross stitch and she had zero interest in starting a new craft, a new hobby. And she said as much on a few comments. She said, wow, the stuff that you show is really beautiful. I'm really glad that I don't do that, because, that's a whole other rabbit hole that I don't think I'll go down. And I don't think I'll start that craft, but I surely like watching you. Well, guess what Verena had a picture of on her Instagram feed this morning? It was the most adorable cross stitch pattern of a Christmas ornament. I think it looks like a kit from Rico called Merry Christmas. And I am going to actually I'm going to insert right here her picture so that you can see. what she is going to start for her very first project, and I couldn't be more thrilled. So, Verena, I look forward to you joining me on Fridays with your very brand new cross-stitching project. And I suspect if you leave a comment, Verena, on this video underneath and say, hey, that's me, then I suspect you'll probably see a whole bunch of love from some fellow cross-stitchers who are just as pleased as I am that you are starting this new journey, because it's a ton of fun. So good luck. And if you have any questions, ask below and we will answer them for you or point you in the right direction. Okay, so moving on to stitching. I have zero show and tell for you today. I am going to jump right into whips because I have a few that I've been working on this week. It's been, you know, the downside to doing these videos more frequently is that I have less progress to show you, obviously, because I do a lot of other stuff as well. I don't just sit and stitch all day and record videos. I have a very, very busy, active life, and I like it that way. So I hope that you will not mind that I, don't have a ton of progress to share with you every week. I try to keep it varied. Like me as a stitcher, I don't work on the same thing all the time. So you will see usually generally different projects every week for the most part. We'll see. On Friday, I was working on the Landmark Tapestries and Charts Savon pattern, this beauty. So many people have jumped on this bandwagon now that I love it. If you're in the States, Crafty Curator left a link in my comments on the Friday video where she found the pattern. I don't have the information in front of me, so I'll put it up here. Also, I ordered mine directly from my local needlework shop, threadandeye.com, and I know that they do mail order. I know they'd be happy to help you out as well if you have any problems finding them. That's here in Canada, but they do mail order all the time. They have an online site, so on and so forth, and they're very good friends of mine. I am not paid to advertise for them. I love them and I love their shop, and I want to see their shop stay open for a really long time because I'm selfish like that. And I like to be able to just drive there and pet the fabric and pet the silks. And so, every little bit of support I can throw their way, you can bet I'm going to blow my horn to support their business. So thank you. Thank you for letting me do that. Okay, so Savon, speaking of my progress, you saw what I did on Friday. It was not that much, a lot of 310, and then I threw in a little $7.99. Is that it? Anyways, I went into $7.97 today. Look at that. That's all I've got done. That's quite a bit for full coverage, and only a couple of days, really. Landmark patterns are just so calming to me. You just load the thread onto the needle and you just stitch. Very little thought, very little, you really can just kind of zone out and just stitch happily. And I love it. So that's my start with that. So here's the thing. I have a giveaway that I am doing on my Instagram page for the business Evertote. And it is a giveaway where I'm giving away a bag and a pattern and some thread heaven. I'll be pulling that name later today. So if you've entered the draw on Instagram, look for an update tonight. I was going to give people the rest of the day for last minute entries, and probably by 9:00 p.m. tonight, my time, I will be drawing a name. So good luck if you entered the draw. But one of the things in the draw, like I said, was some thread heaven. I have never used thread heaven. I mean, I tried it once when, Kathy Thread and I first brought it into the store, because I will buy anything if it's stitching related. If it's stitching related, here's my money. Take it. I want it. So I bought some and I tried it, and I remember thinking, it's okay, but I could take it or leave it. And I thought, I probably won't use it on a regular basis, so it's another thing that, don't get used to. You don't have to spend your money on it. That's fine. You can buy other stuff. I didn't think much of it. So then, of course, the whole hoopla with Thread Heaven stopping production, and Stitcher's basically in a flurry to buy up the last of the stock, and it's like, little pots of gold. I started, really thinking about why, what is so good about this stuff that it's causing this kind of furor over this particular, type of thread conditioner to use. And I've been stitching for a really long time, and I consider myself a, decent stitcher. So I found when I was looking through, when I was getting some stuff out of my stitching drawer, and I noticed the original pot of Thread Heaven that I bought, I'm going to say 10 years ago, and it was still brand new, right? So I thought, okay, give it a try. Give it another try. Give it an honest try and see what you think. I get it. Oh my. I did only the black without the Thread Heaven. I did the rest of the blue that I started. Anything after when I recorded on Friday, I used Thread Heaven. What took me so long? What took me so long? The thread went through the fabric more easily. It felt nicer going through the needle. Everything was just a little bit nicer. And I thought, you fool, you waited all this time and you could have been using it all this time, and you wait until now, and now they don't even make it anymore, and now you like it, and that's just great. And not only that, but Kathy gave me 3 pots to give away, for draws, and of course I'm going to give them away, and I just have this one left for myself. Well, she said I should keep 1 and give the 2 for giveaways, but I thought since she had given them to me, it was only fair that I offer them up for giveaways. But I do know that a few people in the States, I think, have found a substitute for Thread Heaven. So can you please leave a comment below about what that product is? And is there a comparable, are there Canadian stitchers who have found something similar up here where we live that is a replacement for this that we can buy here that's readily available? Crafty Kim, do you use Thread Heaven? I don't know. We never discussed this. I don't know if you use it or if you know of anything else that we can use. But yeah, I'm hooked. I really like it now. So I am always late to the party. Always late to the party. And you know what? It's always my own fault that I'm late to the party. So what are you going to do? Also, while we're talking about the landmark designs, I have to show a little love to Letitia, the crafty curator, who, if you haven't watched her show, and I suspect you have because she's quite a popular girl, her videos are so much fun. And she just put out a new one. She put out a new one because I pestered her. I said, it's been a while since you put out a video, and I miss visiting with you, so you should record a video. And she did, and it's fabulous. You should go and watch it. And she teased me a few times during the episode. But she is stitching the companion piece to this design. So I'm doing Savan and she's doing Arjesh. So she's doing this colorway there, and I'm doing this one there. So twinsies. Isn't that fun? So I love it. So that's my landmark. And the other thing that I put a few stitches in was from last week. Remember I said that I was going to keep this one as my bed stitching. So this is Sampler Cove Dido. I am going to carry on with this one. This is one that you'll probably see on a week-to-week basis until it's done, because I had lots of people say, ooh, I love, they had one of the 4 of the other patterns that I showed in this series And quite a few of you either had Mariah or Enya was the one that you already have in your stash, and people would like to stitch them together. So I'm going to hurry up and finish Dido, and probably the next one that I will start is Enya. So that's why this one is going to stay out. It's not going back in the pile until it's done. They are not very big designs, so just a few lengths here and there, and we'll get it done. So I worked on this while I was watching Letitia's video last week, and I got a little bit more done of this side here. So I think I finished the insides of these flowers, and then the other flower on the bottom or the top, I can't remember, one or the other, and then finished that, and then I started this motif up here. And as you can see, I haven't even finished my length of thread. So not putting it away until this one is done. So little bits here and there. And that's that. So that was my sampler cove. The other thing that I pulled out this week, because now that Halloween is over, it's time for Christmas. Now I stitch Christmas all year round. Christmas stitching is my favorite. I love Christmas stitching. Anything to do with Christmas stitching, and I'm all over it. And frankly, I think anything to do with Christmas, now that Halloween is over, it's time to watch the movies, it's time to decorate, it's time to listen to the music. I am an early adopter of the Christmas spirit. So we watched our very first Christmas movie last night, which was Meet Me in St. Louis. Now, it's not an overly, it's not an overt Christmas movie, but it sort of goes through a year in the lives of this family. And, it goes through Halloween in October, and then sort of near the end of the movie, it's Christmas time and New Year's. And Judy Garland's singing is, it gives me goosebumps every time I watch it. My kids know the words to the songs. Now, Nicholas is 9.5, and he has watched it before. This was the first year that he managed to really sort of sit through most of it and have the patience and the attention span to sit through it. And there were a lot of comments. There's a lot of singing in this movie. Why is there so much singing in this movie? He's seen it before many times, so I don't know. And he knows most of the words. So why he was complaining about the singing all of a sudden, I don't know. But anyways, we made him watch it anyways. So it's time for Christmas stitching. Time for some Prairie Schooler. So I'm going to show you the pattern first. I'm just going to show you my thing first. Okay, here we go. Ready? I have shown this before, but it's coming back. I think the last time I showed it to you was when I was up north. Prairie Schooler Woodland Santas. Oh, yes. This is booklet number 96. Am I getting that the right way around? Yep, 96. Prairie Schooler Woodland Santas. There are 4 of them. I am stitching all 4 in a row. And I have done, I'll show you. I have done this one. And now I'm working on the one there at the top with the reindeer. Actually, so yeah, the 2 at the top are the ones that I'm doing first. So you can see there. Oh, I love this so much. And this is the project that I have chosen this week to work on Friday during the Stitch With Me video. So I will be working on Santa's coat and probably the reindeer. I need to work on things where I don't have to really count and concentrate. So I may do a little bit of outlining before you see this on Friday so that I can then just do some quick, fill in of color when we're having our chat on Friday. So we'll see. I love Prairie Schooler Santas. I just think that they are the perfect Santa. Love it. The colors are amazing. It's simple stitching. There's no back stitching. Few colors, but they're so effective. The design work is so effective and beautiful. They're timeless. They're really just classic, timeless pieces. So, can't wait. Can't wait. I'm looking forward to Friday already. So that's that. Oh, that's right. I left this specifically on my frame to show you. So this is my table lap frame that I use. And it is a K's Creations stand. And this is one of the older ones. One of the the newer ones have a divot tray at the front where you can put, you know, a highlighter or your scissors or, you know, your thread heaven, whatnot. So this is an old one that doesn't have that, but it doesn't matter to me. And is this the one? No. Yeah. This, I leave this sticker on the end because Sarah put this on there when she was little. It says, "I am the nicest mummy in the whole world." I think she was 8 or 9 when she did that. And it makes me smile every time I see it. She's 16 and a half now, and she's still the greatest kid ever. So, I like that. So this is my K's Creation. K's Creation? Yeah, that's right. Stand. And as you can tell, my knobs don't match. All of my knobs are different sizes. Some of my knobs are Hearthside and some of my knobs are K's. They're all different. And my bars here, these are Hearthside. Hearthside. Oh, I can't remember. I should write these things down, but I don't. I'll put it on the screen. These match the floor frame that I own, that I showed a picture of in Friday's video. And you know what? When I'm grabbing stuff to put together whatever it is that I need to stitch, I'm always in a hurry to get to the stitching part. So if it fits, I stick it together and it works. So that's well and good. But because I'm a two-handed stitcher, these frames work beautifully for me because one hand on the front, one hand on the back, and away I go, lickety split. So, Christmas time. It really is the best time of the year. I did a little something extra this morning before I got ready to record this podcast, and I'm a little hesitant to put it in here, but I'm going to do it anyways. So I am about to post a video of me playing the flute. I know. I have had several people ask if the music at the beginning was done by me or, you know, any music that I ever put in a podcast. They wonder whether that's me playing the music. It is not. The only music that is me that is on a podcast is the music that happens at the beginning of the Fiber Friends show, and that is music that I recorded a long time ago with a partner, a guitarist partner, and it was a demo CD that we did for wedding couples who were looking to book us for their music. So, you know, I've had some people ask, and so I thought, you guys, maybe you don't believe me that I actually play. So I do play, and I also know that I have some people watch who play as adults. Crafty Kim, I'm looking at you. Now, Crafty Kim is also a flute player, and she played when she was a kid, and as an adult, she has come back to it, and she has joined her local concert band. And I wanted to really give her a huge shout out for that. And you know, it is never, ever too late to pick up an instrument, to learn something new. So just a little quick background. I went to university here in London, Ontario, University of Western Ontario. I did a performance degree in flute performance. So all that to say that I studied for a very long time on how to play the flute really well. So I no longer play professionally. I do not book weddings anymore. I do not do any of that sort of work. I teach, and I love teaching. I really do. I have wonderful students. I mostly, actually, believe it or not, mostly teach piano. I have a small portion of my studio is flute. So anyways, that's a little bit of background about me. Getting onto the video, I recorded a little blurb to show you, to share with you a little bit of my outside life, outside of crafting. I thought you might be interested. If you're not, feel free to turn it off. It is also a little weird kind of way to introduce my shop update. So anyways, here you go. I'm nervous, guys. So be kind. Please be kind. If you think that it was really strange that I posted myself playing the flute in a Flosstube video, well, there you go. That's me. I'm a little strange and a little weird. So enjoy. I hope you enjoy it. At the very least, you can, I don't know, tease me behind my back. Just don't do it to my face. Okay, so enjoy. I'll see you in a few minutes. Morning, friends. I must really like you guys because I can't quite believe I'm going to do this, but I thought it might be fun to play the Skyboat song because everything's Outlander right now, isn't it? And, I've got some new plaid bags out and I like watching the show. Faye, Crochet Circle podcast, she calls it 50 Shades of Kilt, which, let's face it, that's what it is, isn't it? So thanks to Faye and her 50 Shades of Kilt, that's what I decided to name the plaid bags that we've got coming out. And in honor of Faye, I'll dedicate playing this tune for you. So the Skyboat song, played by me for you guys. And I probably will never, ever do this again. So, okay, this is take 2 because the first time I recorded it, my breathing was really loud. And this is not a professional recording, but I have some standards. And that first one didn't cut it. So, take 2, here we go. Hopefully the breathing is better this time. There you go. Flute choir ladies, I hope you were watching that as well because that was for you too. And if I can be brave enough to record this and put it out there for the crafting world to see, then you girls can be brave enough to play in the spring recital and stop complaining about it. So I'll see you on Wednesday at rehearsal. Thanks, guys. See you soon. Hi, I'm back. So what'd you think? Was that okay? Kind of strange? Not strange at all? I don't know. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed it. If you're still watching, I hope you enjoyed it. Before I do the rest of the shop update, I forgot that I had, from the stash pile, I have a little thing that I wanted to show you from my stash pile. This is not a recent acquisition. This is something that I probably bought last year that I want to start this month in November because it is, like I said, I love Christmas, I love winter time, and I have wanted to stitch this for a really long time. And you know what? It's time to start my stash. So hashtag start your stash. I am starting this hopefully this week. I really hope that I can find an hour or two to get this up on my floor frame and put some stitches in. So you know that I love Rosewood Manor. You know that I'm working on the Quaker Diamonds, Rosewood Manor Quaker Diamonds. I love all of Rosewood Manor's Quakers. So this is the Winter Quakers. And oh my, it has everything in it that I love. Snowflakes, birds, beautiful colors. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. I think it's one of the most beautiful patterns ever. And I have seen so many people stitch it on Instagram that it's time for me to join in. I've had this in my stash for a while now, and it's time to start it. So I am not doing this on a blue linen. I am doing this on a natural linen. This is the 32 count natural linen that I have, that I bought specifically for this. And I kitted this up with, I did my own color conversion because the original called for Valdani threads. Thread and I does not sell the Valdani threads. So what I did was I simply, you know, looked at the picture and I looked at the color description in the color key, and then I did my own conversion with Crescent Colors, which is now Classic Colorworks, right? So anyways, so you can tell this is kind of older stash. And then also some Gentle Arts as well. So all cottons, no silks in this one, and those are my colors. So there's my bird right there. So from the stash pile. So next week I hope to show you my start on that. Now I know I was going to start Corners and Curves, which is the other Rosewood Manor piece that I was going to start, and I didn't get to that one yet. So I have to make some time for myself. Now I'm going to visit my mom and dad this weekend, and also I'm going to visit my sister-in-law Kathy. I guess my brother's there too. I might see him for a few minutes. I'm picking up some bags from Kathy this weekend. She has a lot of our Christmas themed bags that I'm picking up to put in the shop. So I'm staying overnight at my parents' house this weekend, and John is doing kid duty here. It's a busy weekend with, you know, things going on. So he's going to do the chauffeuring this weekend, and I'm taking off and I'm going to visit my family. And so I think that Saturday night when I'm at my parents' house and I don't have the kids there, that might be a perfect time for a new start. So watch Instagram if you're interested, and maybe you'll see something special on Saturday night. We'll see. So that was from my stash pile, and that's it. So now we can get to the rest of the shop update. Yesterday I put up a couple more of the newer wedge totes that I've got, put them on the site. This one I put up a few days ago. It's a Canada wedge tote, which I love. It's so fun. Inside fabric, super cute. Now I had a commenter leave me a really nice note the last time I showed the wedge tote and everything that you could fit inside it and how it was really appropriate for stitchers as well. And she said, yeah, you know, ornaments. You could put ornaments in there. And I thought, yeah, you totally could. You know, the hands-on design, the whole series of the 12 Days of Christmas, all of those patterns, all of the fabric, all of the threads, they would all fit in here and you could keep them all together. I thought that was a pretty clever idea. And I should have thought of it myself. So these next ones are bags that I have only one of each. These are larger wedge totes that are sort of, you're getting a bonus if you buy these bags because Kathy wanted to use up the material to its advantage and not have waste, so she just made it into a slightly bigger bag. This is the first one. I've sold a couple of this in this bag in this fabric before. They were slightly smaller. This is the only one left of this fabric that we have. This fabric's now gone. So once this is gone, that's it. The other one is this bag, which is so pretty. Oh, I didn't show you the lining, did I? It's the lining on the, oh, it's the same gray, that one, which I think it matches really well. And this one, which I love. subtle, classy. Beautiful lining. That matches. So those two are the slightly plus-sized wedge totes, and then I have only one of these left as well, the Eiffel Towers, because my very good friend Ada in France bought the other one. She couldn't resist. And I suppose if you live in France, this is the perfect bag for you. And Ada, thank you. Isn't it cute? Love this bag. And so that's the inside. Oh, it's so delicate and pretty. So the way that Kathy and I work together, Kathy's sister-in-law, when we've been friends forever and business partners since early this year, and we work very, very well together because it's tricky when your business partner lives 2 hours away from you, and you have to run a business together. Kathy is amazing at production. She is fast, and she is, she can sew like the wind. And so Kathy makes a lot of things all at once, and then every time I see her, she hands me a stack of bags. And then over the next little while, I sort of load them onto Etsy a few at a time, so as to not overload the site, but also to sort of gauge reaction of how they're going to sell, what we need to make less of, what we need to make more of, so on and so forth. So that's how Kathy works. The way I work from my end is that I do all of the video production, the editing, the uploading, the social media side of the business, the Etsy side of the business, loading the shop, the shipping of the bags and so forth. And then when I have time, I come up with my own bags. And then so I will make bags as well. But the way that I do my side of the production is that I will come up with a style of bag, or a theme of bag, or so on and so forth. The last one I did was the partridge bag with the matching partridge notion tote. That was one that I did, and I will calculate how much fabric I have, how many bags I can make, and then I will make one or two, and I will list them, and I will list that there are 10 for sale, and then as they sell, I will make the bag and ship it out within a day or two. And so this next one that I've come up with, I was watching Faye at Crochet Circle podcast, and she was talking about Outlander, and she makes me laugh. I love her so much. She makes me laugh, and she was talking about Outlander, and she said, let's face it, it's like 50 Shades of Kilt. That's what they call it at her house. It's 50 Shades of Kilt. And so I thought, I need to make a plaid bag. I've made a plaid bag before, but it was orange. I needed a proper Scottish plaid kilt bag. So I came up with 50 Shades of Kilt, medium, cross-stitch tote. And I'm sure I could make this bag in any size. So I have sold the first two that I made that were ready to go. So what I'm showing you is actually the next bag that I'm making that's in pieces, because I need to ship this one out next. So you're not seeing a finished bag, you're seeing it in pieces. So the plaid, this is the main fabric here. And I have it matched with a black twill on the bottom. The lining is a moose. Now I know it's wrinkled. I do iron things, I promise. And then there is a matching wedge tote that uses the moose fabric as well. There are proper pictures up on Etsy of what the finished what the finished set looks like, and so this was just a little sneak peek of what I offer. So I have enough. I think the very first one that sold, because I usually when I put something up on Etsy that's new, I will load it up on Instagram first at Evertotes, and I will put up pictures there of what I have that's new in the shop. And it is quite funny to me that the very first person who bought this plaid set with the moose was from Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. So hello in Moose Jaw, and thank you so much for totally making my day, for being the first person to buy my 50 Shades of Kilt set. So much appreciated. So that's it for the shop update. That's all I've got for today. Be on the lookout for Christmas things. They're coming. Like I said, I'm picking them up. I'm picking them up on Saturday. So actually, by next Monday, I should be able to show you what I might do is actually cut next week's Monday video into 2 uploads. One will be the regular episode, and then I will do another upload of just a shop update, so that if you don't care at all, you don't have to watch that part at all. You can just watch the first video, and then, I'll see you the next week. And then I'll do a totally different episode upload for the shop update, because it's going to be Christmas heavy. I think I'm going to be loading up the shop in the next 2 weeks with a lot of bags, so that people have some choice to choose their Christmas presents or presents that they'd like to buy for friends, stitchy friends, anything like that. So anyways, thank you. I need to say thank you. I need to say thank you to the Crafty Curator. I need to say thank you to Ginger Gerald. I need to say thank you to everyone who has talked about this podcast, talked about my bags in such an amazing way. It's a little overwhelming at times to feel that people I've never even met in real life are so caring and giving of their time, their opinions, their friendship, really, because it's touching. And when life is hard and you can't turn on the news without seeing something devastating, it's a pretty wonderful place to be for Stitchers. And I appreciate every single comment. I read them all. I appreciate every single subscription to the channel, every single message that I get on Instagram saying, hey, it's Friday. Are you doing a Stitch With Me video? Because I've really been looking forward to it. And I was wondering where it was, because it's not uploaded yet. That just, it makes me feel like what I'm doing here is it's fun, and I'm really enjoying it. And Letitia, Crafty Curator, next week, I'm just warning you now, from the stash pile, there's something coming that you may want to have your wallet ready, because I'm going to hone my enabling skills, and you're going to need that pattern. I'm just telling you right now, so you're ready. You may want to save your pennies this week. So it's coming. And that's it for me. That's it for me today. I hope that it is a bright, sunny day in your part of the world. And if it's not, then I hope that you have some stitching that can keep you cozy and happy for the rest of your day. And I hope you have a great week. Happy stitching. I'll see you on Friday.